Tolerance is a valuable and important virtue. But it is just as important to realize that tolerance does not promise much. The word for tolerance in Hebrew is sovlanut, which, as in the Latin, derives from sevel, suffering. To tolerate in Hebrew is lisbol, literally to be willing to suffer, to put up with the presence of those we'd rather not have around and forms of life we'd rather didn't exist. The obligation not to take action against people carries with it no inherently positive evaluation of their way of life, no obligation to listen to what they have to say, to be curious about their culture or belief system, to take them seriously, to rejoice in their presence, or to view their presence as an asset, or as a blessing, or as an enrichment of our way of life. So to be tolerant is important. It's no wee achievement in this region, but it's a very, very thin concept. Pluralism, as David used the term, and I will use it, is just that. Pluralists value and rejoice in the very plurality of diverse, even conflicting ways of life. For pluralists, the value they attach to cultural diversity overrides the exclusivism of their own system of beliefs. Now, we are easily pluralistic when it comes to mere ethnic issues. Most of us regard the teeming cosmopolitan diversity of attire and cuisine, of language and ritual, music and literature, as an asset, an enrichment. But many people, especially religious people, believe that when it comes to the conflicting truth claims of diverse ethical or religious system, tolerance is the best we can hope for. For them, the kind of wrongness religious people attribute to other faith traditions rules out the possibility of attributing them any inherent value from our own perspective. For how can a seriously religious person truly welcome and value someone else's religious life without relativizing and hence somehow trivializing his own, so the argument goes. Now, the late and dear Krister Stendahl was as truly and authentically a religious pluralist as he was truly and authentically a faithful and deeply religious member of his own faith community. In fact, Krister was a religiously motivated religious pluralist. The real trick to religious understanding, he is quoted as saying, is what I, Krister, call holy envy. It is when one realizes that there is something in the other that is beautiful, that even tells you, me, something about God, but you know it ain't yours. It's different. We are different, and we should celebrate our diversity. Holy envy signaled for Krister a mode of meeting others in religiously meaningful and self-enriching dialogue that far transcends accepted forms of interfaith engagement. To strive for holy envy is in a deep sense the exact opposite of exploring what we have in common. In striving to achieve holy envy, we need to be listening for where, interestingly, we differ, for what makes our traditions unique and special, not for what we share. Constantly on the alert for meaningful and intriguing difference, even worrying difference. And most importantly, to be open to the possibility of finding something in someone else's tradition that is beautiful, beautiful in our sense of the term. And to do that is to be open to the possibility of finding one's own tradition lacking in certain respects. So holy envy, in other words, bespeaks an openness to the other that is coupled to, and at least implicitly motivated, by a healthy religious self-doubting and willingness to engage in self-criticism. It is in this sense that Krister's rich notion of holy envy reflects the core values of the type of learning promoted and practiced at the Hartman Institute in intra-faith settings among ourselves all year round. And once a year, during an intense and deeply inspiring week in February, in a unique interfaith setting, significantly shaped by Krister in the way David Hartman described, in which religiously engaged Muslim, Christian, and Jewish scholars meet to learn with, and more importantly, to learn from